I am on pace to be called a nigger 212 times by summer. It is January, and there are only 10 days left in this month. And I refuse to be a corpse by the 3rd, but catch me fist closed on the 4th, and I might be gone by the 5th if this white woman in power has her way. Which is the same as that white man in that seat, which is the same as that last missed check, which is the same as that eviction notice. My mother says the cloth of my ancestors makes me bulletproof. So I put on a new head wrap every time passive-aggressive headshots fire off of cradled tongues down into the gutters of unswept streets where I'm told that I belong. And I walk around with cash in case I pass another cardboard sign, giving a fortune to crates just to see more hungry mouths the next month. It's almost like I cannot fix these encampments on my own, like starvation is intentional, like billions in surplus don't exist. Maybe by the end of this poem, you can tell me what the cause is, while I kick 3 more election pamphlets off my doorstep since I don't do drugs on Tuesdays ever since my neighbor overdosed on Kamala Harris bumper stickers. Meanwhile, the city of San Francisco made $90 million in parking tickets just to not have affordable housing, just to hire more pigs to put tickets on windshields, to pay for pigs putting tickets on windshields, and my last $60 goes to the cardboard sign again. You know, a fist fight is always fair to a waistband with a gun tucked inside. You know, an eviction is always fair to the feet standing on a bankroll. And my cousin told me not all skin folk are kinfolk, so I keep 2 feet in my back pocket so I land on my feet when I'm sucker punched between line breaks and a neoliberal slides a judge lump sums to slide me into solitary silence so that a white tenured professor can tell you that these are not poems. These are lyrics. These are a soapbox. That they are too unhoused and must cut their hair before they deserve a home, because if you don't carve out a healing space, a legislator might use your flesh for sacrifice. Fascism fed farm to table. Grassroots campaign can't rid the stench of shit in the soil. National Guard on bureaucrat speed dial. Hey, tell them niggers not to loot, or air freshener is gonna spill blood onto ready-made caskets. We've seen this script before, yet y'all still ready to hold knives up to black arteries. Democracy just a fable we rode past, crossing into this cemetery we wake up in on a loop for the shards of black protest to get beaten into another voter campaign for Obama to stand next to a black woman, waving clinking chains of Asada, grinding bones in the soil backed by Biden budgets, virtue signal and progress just to express shit billy clubs. And kill the English dictionary in you, and you might be a revolutionary by nightfall. Offer your last breath to the asphalt, it'll ask if you at least fought back. Ask if you apologize to all the minute hands. Chain holder made a quilt out of your ancestors, sewed it loosely and told you, let it keep you warm. Never had a dream within this colonial opiate. Capitalists othered a railroad worker, then Silk Road traded them for dirt, threw pig at a labor strike and watched the bodies fall. Greasy palms oil prison pipelines while a moderate preacher's reform. Property tax still funded school budgets, and they got the nerve to tell me to grab a picket sign while a rock land right here. Smoke and mirrors breeding infighting over blood money. All money is blood money. Thought we made it out the cotton fields just to be grandfathered in. Heard a whip crack in a handcuff class, in a sentencing hearing, in a salary negotiation behind bulletproof plantation windows. But see, I've dragged my lineage through dirt roads, sandstorms, scraping knees on cement cinder blocks stacked in the way, my wrist cut deeply on the journey, salt water stinging bones showing before someone else tells me I'm healed, tells me to move on. When I grab lineage by their wrist, wiping off eraser dust with diamond flakes mixed in that they sold back to us saying that's all our hands were good for, losing limbs between borders some European gave name to, that I should be proud of, that Singbe PA revolted to come back to. Maybe my wrist bleed on the chains he broke just to be Spielberged in white saviorhood. I feel my lineage weighted down beneath Valongo wharf remains, paved over just to be paved over, just to be built atop under silk covers, smelling like liberation strangleholds. While I drag lineage to a native language, not a native language, in hopes of speaking with lineage between borders and sandstorms I was told I didn't need to know. Enough Mende for struggle. I drag lineage with dislocated wrists, separated at the broken tree branch, telling stories in contradiction to a tall tale pillared by monuments and sand in my shoes. And if you don't call a cage by its name, history will glorify the bed that it gave you first. If you don't call a noose by its name, History will soften its fibers, tell you stories about unity and tree parties, but perhaps I am still hanging from a rope somewhere. And I do not have the wherewithal to see my own name memorialized in block and jar dirt. Perhaps I am still aspirating in a dungeon somewhere, unwilling to be dragged somewhere onto a boat for property maintenance. Perhaps I am pieces pieced together, still tied to previous iterations screamed into these breaths I now take with reluctance to revisit visualizations, knowing I am both here and in a rope, and in a dungeon, and in a chain anchor, straddling a past life and a half-life, unwilling to pass on pieces to any iteration of myself that does not understand that I am the last breath in a train track execution as much as I am the voice in a classroom. Keep seeing train headlights blinding my resolve. I am unable to breathe the air of the asphyxiated above dirt monument, not knowing what the strength looks like to hold that space on a straddle. My therapist keeps telling me I need to remember to breathe, but perhaps I am still hanging, still below ground, still afraid of a future with no future beneath a future of museum boxes and jars of dirt. Grappling with limbo, I am both here and nowhere, trying to find somewhere safe, somewhere free, somewhere not black and blue circle encrusted with settler colonialism telling me liberation is the ballot, or the billy club, the ballot, or the gun, the ballot, or the rope. Perhaps I am still hanging from a rope somewhere, trying to hold my grandfather's hand one last time before the sun rises, and the coroner tells you a story about how I did this to my own body, since singing letters to ghosts on glass podiums is gonna leave me empty. Sooner or later, we all pay tolls to the flames, fall out the left side of a casket still trying to measure up, get buried with ash in the suit line and talking about, at least I tried. Tried to talk to street signs in the dark. Tried to pull cotton from cufflinks like pretty shackles still don't clink. Performing odes to an overseer got us prophesizing to the dirt, at least that third voice never forgot you. Even if your own hands did. And that new black mare injecting hope in tied off wrists. Might have to go between toes when the high starts wearing off. Because Oakland downtown's starting to look like San Francisco downtown, which starting to look like the same suit, which starting to look like the same wooden box buried 3 feet away from 9 school closures. I still taste the flames in this. So I must have burned every bridge up to this point. Yelling loud enough that my death doesn't mean more than my life. Look me in the eye and tell me you know the difference between a real poet and the bottom of a bottle. We play spectator to an assassination daily. Asking, how do pamphlets breed so many foot soldiers with no tongues? Senator took Juneteenth off, then outlawed teaching slavery. Told third grade art project cotton was always picked by machine. That history has no feelings. That empire only looks ahead through broken windows and unmarked graves. I'm on this grassy knoll every day, watching brain fragments get left behind for the sake of an idea that left my neck 4 inches longer, that took dinner table and put it on top of unburied bones, that took the other and slapped it on the next group to hate. But make sure those niggers stay right there, though. Multiculturalism, a dialectic away from a seminar table debating the efficacy of slaughter and the intellectual merit of a bourgeoisie coup. Regime change over cocktails and masks. Empire must have short memory. Empire must have short memory. Empire must have some memory. Empire must remember where the bodies are buried to avoid half-hearted apologies. A real poet told me once that not every story has to appeal to the heart. It can appeal to the spine. Severed vertebrae shouting, hear me out, from straitjacket buckles and scratches on cement walls that made my spine property of the state, that made me 2/3 of a past the future left blood-stained baton swing, slush fund bomb exploding outside what used to be my bedroom wall just long enough for the taste of rubble to be family heirloom. Nobody even asked where I wanted my body to be buried. I'm talking to this soil like everything is a weapon formed against me. Melatonin making Medgar Evers my docent on this impending bullet train. Woke up 10 times lost. Coroner can tell you jokes 3 minutes past America if you wait long enough. Might diagnose you as a rebel if you speak too loudly about the cause of death. Every 20 minutes, another puppet dies by teleprompter. Tells a revolutionary to just vote if they want change. Tucks in sheets on deathbed for preparation. Hell, how you gonna make it out alive anyway? You might as well laugh through that ash coating lungs. We used to breathe air, now all we do is drink water and pray to the fire next time. Burning flag flapping around the body somebody deemed illegal somewhere, drew a border and said, I dare you to cross. Let's see if your lungs can take in more air than this bullet can take from you. First step is to dare you to dream. Second step is to get you to fall in love with the sound of a growling stomach. Third step is to sacrifice you to a tree branch to put you on a postcard. What good is the poet with no neck, the coroner will joke. Only half of the half he spoke to listened anyway. My burial plot placed center stage for encore viewing, and there are only teardrops left in these broken ballpoints, man. And I talk to spirits in my sleep, just collecting family history, I guess. Printing press never figured out how to publish scars, so I inherit mine directly. Taste knife blades in my dream just to be force-fed more when I wake up. Something, something about an election. Something, something about support the troops. Something, something about land of opportunity. Cash hoards stashed in banks overseas while another sidewalk panel turns pillow top comforter. The scars on my back opened up into a vision about love being the only way for me to ever be free. And if I love you hard enough, I might only die once. Reaching out for magic in my dreams just to be less dead when I'm awake, to make myself somehow more visible to the coastline, to wave to the armada for saving my soul, then plead with them to grip my broken shoulders and carry me home before I wake up again standing on a block. I just want to peace again. Speak with my great-great-uncle about the recipe he could never give me, about the smile this place took from me. I do not have enough tears to water your flowers, but perhaps the dirt from this poem can bridge the ashes I've left behind. Floating on a Sierra Leone river, I am less weight than tree. Tree telling my neck it meant to shield me before I became a dash somewhere within this project where I can't even float. You know, a white poet told me once that not every poem needs to be a revolution. Like my pen not attached to a fist with scab knuckles from punching through oak memories, trying to talk to my uncle in Haiti I never met, who's trying to talk to my aunt's headstone in Brazil these crop-dusted palms never got to touch. I must be a carpenter. From all these splinters, stinging white prayer circles gathered around stapled corners. I was born a poet, and I have hitchhiked my way to a last meal beneath this tree, ma'am. So let me pause for a second and see how much Sierra Leone is left between my fingernails. Thank you.